My name's Carmen Papalia, and I'm a non-visual artist. Mobility device is it's a performance where I replace my detection cane with a marching band. I usually use a cane to feel my way through my surroundings, so I tap it from side to side and use it to feel. And in mobility device, I get rid of my cane and I use the marching band and the sounds that they're making to find my way through in an unfamiliar place. So this is an ongoing performance that started in 2013, and for this performance in Vancouver, I've asked the Carnival Band to be my mobility device. It's a strange request to say, okay, I'm going to be relying on you as my navigation system. My safety is in your hands. It takes a certain group of people to meet that request. I mean, I have to admit, I bump into things all the time. And there is just like a degree of slapstick in my life. And this is a bit of an extension of that.
I was introduced to this person, Carmen, who wanted to do this project called Mobility Device, which was super exciting. And also bizarre. At the beginning, I was really, really worried about Carmen, and I still am, honestly. I get really, really worried that I'm gonna walk him into oncoming traffic, which I almost did in like our first rehearsal. There's this responsibility that gets put on us, and that I've learned a lot from that because I've suddenly realized that I'm in a situation that feels sometimes a little bit dangerous. That's what Carmen's dealing with every day.
Hey. Okay, so do you, just based on where we are now, know where the Showboat stage is?
Yes.
Do you want to like kind of walk in that direction and see what we encounter on the way?
Yeah, definitely. For their basketball.
We've been trying to do this performance for years. It's not the most sustainable system for my access, but you know, I wish I could use a marching band more days than not.
And then we come up to bars.
Yeah.
That are like crisscross to stop bicycles.
Yes.
So like it ends here.
And
then there's another one right here.
Yep.
So you kind of have to do this swerve in.
You know.
Right here. And just on your right. Now this is the stairway.
Okay,
so there's about 50
out.
steps. And
Okay.
there's a railing on your right-hand side, and there's seats on my left-hand side.
I think of the white cane as an institutional symbol. It's something that is passed down to people from an institution. These institutions were started by non-disabled people for the benefit of disabled people who usually didn't have a say or some option to kind of like determine the kind of support that they wanted. They just had to accept the kind of support that they were given and be grateful for it. I actually want to, in my work and my life, make the choices around my care and support for myself. The cane, I think, is a very limiting tool. I think it identifies me as someone who is blind or visually impaired. I don't really even use those words to describe myself. I describe myself as a non-visual learner or non-visual artist because I feel like the terms blind and visually impaired still privilege visual experience. So I like to find more affirming and maybe even like creative approaches to my own access and support.
People with disabilities are expected to act a certain way in society. And having a brass band be your mobility device isn't that expectation. With each rehearsal, we're finding new ways of cueing and communicating through music and sometimes through crazy noises.
I think what was, well, because drums were too far ahead, I think, this time, because it was just like a little hard for me to pick out what was the direction there.
So we might be doing chromatic walk downs or squeaky, shrill sounds, super dissonant, to warn of a step or an obstacle.
These folks will be parading for you right here. It will be worth your while. It's called the Mobility Project. Mobility device.
I'm relying on the band, but then, it's not them exactly leading me. I'm leading them. I'm sort of like playing the band and directing the band in some ways too. So it really is this exchange of trust. I think I want people to come away understanding that that exchange of trust is central to accessibility.
The whole band is unified behind this goal of getting Carmen successfully from one end to the other without a cane. So don't you worry, Carmen. It's all gonna work out. After everything, we're
Yeah.
boom.
That sounds good. Okay.
Okay, Carnies, we're gonna muster behind Carmen.
Yes.
And we're gonna be in formation, our strict formation.
I always get a little nervous before a performance, especially when I'm just throwing my cane away and just having to rely on sound cues to navigate my surroundings.
I'm on this way. Okay. Oh yeah. It's all coming together. Drop the cane.
I feel like we can move as a single organism together through the collaboration that we establish through rehearsals, this interdependent support network.
Give me a B flat, a B flat.
Wherever I've done this project, people just get into it. They're like, is it a parade? Sometimes people will join. And when they come to understand the dynamic between myself, like someone who doesn't use vision, and the band, and how we're collaborating, I think it really shifts their thinking around, what accessibility can be.
When I say mobility, you say device. Mobility. Well, that's a mouthful.
The point I'm trying to make is that accessibility can be creative, and it can be user-defined, and it can be fun and collaborative, and it doesn't need to be handed to you through an institution. It's something that you can determine for yourself. That's what just care and support needs to be in general, is user-defined and something where the recipient has autonomy and the power to envision the kind of life that they want to live. Okay, the question was, what would I replace my cane with other than a marching band? I pulled like an old sword out and I was tapping around with that. A parasol, a wizard's wand. But I guess, like, I don't know. I really like the marching band. I wish I could walk with the marching band most days.
Yeah. Yeah.